Hi, good evening everybody. Welcome to Sabres to the Future. This is the video on this channel, if you're new here, that discusses and talks about the prospects in our farm, guys up and coming, hopefuls, and players, of course, yet to don the Sabres jersey that we believe, or I believe, are going to become Buffalo Sabres. So we are going to discuss tonight one of our elite prospects. Here we go. Matthew Savoie. We're going to look at Matthew, what he's done this season, and where he's at right now. So let's go right into the next clip. And let's look at his season, folks. He played 62 games this year, added a 68. He had 38 goals, 57 assists for 95 points. He came on strong in this year. You guys might recall there was kind of a slow start with him this year, and then he came on strong. He was a plus 57 this year. I mean, it's outstanding numbers. But folks, look at the playoffs so far. In 4 games played in that sweep of Medicine Hat, he had 6 goals and 3 assists for 9 points. Now, we'll take a look at the points in the regular season. And yeah, no surprise who's number one. Connor Bedard, folks, is just a prodigy, and he is, I can easily tell you, the next great player from this country since Connor McDavid. Connor Bedard is the real thing, and he will be in the NHL, I'm guessing, in his first year, 100-point man. I really do believe that. So he had 143 points. That was in 57 games, and Savoie finished, if you go exactly, he was tied for 6th in the league with 95 points. Again, you've seen in 62 games. Now, playoffs. Let's get back to that. There's the playoff scoring. That's not updated, though. Bedard got 4 points last game. I mean, he just continues, this guy. Bedard's Regina has forced a Game 7 in their series. And Bedard, in that 6 games, folks, so far has 11 goals and 8 assists. Now, Savoie, as we see, is right there in the points. But there's a few guys now that have 10, so he's not really on this list, and I meant to make this video yesterday. Anyway, so I'm making it now. Just get the picture here that Savoie's only played 4 games. Bedard's played 6, but Bedard, again, has 19 points. Now, we'll look at the standings this year, so you guys have an idea. And there's Bedard's team, Savoie's team, guys, the Winnipeg Ice. And take a look. You know, they were 57-10 this year. Just a crazy season. You know, him and Geeky went back there and just tore it up, really. I mean, the team is just a powerhouse. And this is why I say Adams is a real smart GM. Instead of putting him in the AHL, he put him in a chance with his teammates at a championship. The guys that he played with last year, you know, some of the guys they played with last year, he has a chance to win it all this year and maybe even get to the Memorial Cup. And if you look at 6th place, folks, the Regina Pats are 34-33-1. So, you know what I mean? They weren't too good this year, and that's with Bedard in the lineup. So can you imagine if that team didn't have Connor Bedard? They would be probably the worst team in the league easily. So I wanted to give you guys an update there, because when I seen the 6 goals, 3 assists in 9 games, folks, we got to talk about this. I mean, this kid, you know, he is absolutely a stud. And you know, this is the crazy thing. You look at his numbers were good this year, right? They're solid. They're solid in the playoffs. And you look at Connor Bedard, and they're like, you know, like double, right? I mean, it's crazy numbers with Bedard. And folks, Bedard is a full year and a half younger than him. You know, it's crazy to think about it, eh? It just, and in that league, a year and a half is a lot of time younger. It's a lot. It's like 5 years in the NHL, kind of, in junior. So he is absolutely, I think, guys, I believe that, I do believe Savoie is going to be a Sabre next year. I mean, I don't think he's going to do a year in the AHL and then come up. I believe he's going to make the transition straight to the NHL. He's going to be old enough. He'll be 19, right? He will be 19, and he will be turning 20 during the year. This is old enough, guys, especially for forwards to come into the NHL, especially our team. It's a young bunch. So there's no pressure on this kid coming in next year. And I wanted to know your take, guys, how you're feeling about this guy. I tell you, again, guys, there's this thing that's like the Sabres are being haunted, you know? I watched Levi in nets, and I didn't mention Levi in my video yesterday, guys, and believe me, that wasn't on purpose. It just sometimes, I don't script out my videos. I just go cold and I go into it like an AA talk, you know? Which I'm doing here. I mean, I had the clips, that's it. You know, when it comes to Savoie, what I think, guys, this whole thing, you know, I talked about Devin Levi, how he reminds me of Hasek / Miller in certain ways. Savoie, when you hear him talk and you look at him and just the way his eyes look, this is Danny Briere, guys. I'm telling you, this is Danny Briere. When you hear him talk, the way he's built. Did he have numbers like Briere and Junior? No. You know, no, he didn't. You know, Danny Briere had insane numbers, I recall. I mean, I'll look at him briefly as we're speaking, but this Savoie kid, guys, the best sign for me, you know, when you're 6 goals, 3 assists in 4 playoff games, and you just helped your team sweep out a series. Hey, you know, I'm excited about this kid for sure. You know, especially when he shows up come playoff time. But we're gonna see, because the real test to that is if they get to the Memorial Cup, will he wind up being the MVP and them winning the whole damn thing? It's possible. This Winnipeg Ice team is really good. Yeah, Briere's numbers were, you know, pretty awesome. You know, pretty awesome in junior. You know, he had 67 games, 67 goals, 96 assists. 59 games, 52 goals, 78 assists. 72 games, 51 goals, 72 assists. That's not in the exact order. I just pumped out the best years at you first. Years 2, 3, and 1 is the way I went in that order. So, you know, look, he's not... I'm not going to say he's going to be as good as Danny Briere, but, you know, we obviously, he could be better. He could be as good. There's no way to know till we get this guy into the lineup. And he's built the same way. You know, he's a husky kid, man. He's like 5'9", 179 pounds. And Danny Briere was 5'10", 181 pounds. You know what I mean? They're built the same way. Now, of course, he's gonna grow a bit more. So he might peak out at 5'10", you know, 180 something pounds. I mean, this kid is. I liked him in interviews. I think you guys felt the same way last year when we watched him in interviews last year. Seems like a really good kid. He seemed really excited to be a Sabre. That's why I showed that clip there, him signing the contract. I think it's fitting. And I like what Adams did, sending him back to his team in junior. They didn't force him into the pros right away, because the truth is he's going to get just as much succeeding than he would anything this year. And I think Savoie was more on the edge of still being a junior player than a pro player, than a guy like Coolidge. You know what I mean? So I think that was the right way to go with him. And also to send him back and give him a shot at a Memorial Cup title this year. I mean, there is a chance his team can win the whole damn thing. Like I said, they could. 57-10, folks, is one hell of a year, you know? So we're going to see how this pans out. I wanted to throw this at you guys, see what your opinion was, how you're feeling about him being a Sabre next year. I don't think he's going to be a Rochester American. I think he's going to be a Buffalo Sabre next year, this kid. I can't picture us signing him to an entry level without believing that he's going to cut the team next year, most likely. And the Sabres, too, guys, what they can do with these... You know, if we're worrying about, you got to remember something, and this is the way I'm looking at this, is when they come in, let's say we bring some of them in under third year of their entry level, okay? Then we can put them on a bridge deal for 2 years, and it's like an entry level again. We just give them a bit more, you know, give them a taste, you know what I mean, and bring them along properly. We could be doing that with Savoie also. But I think there's going to be spots opening up on the team, and we got to bring the youngsters in. Him and Coolidge are the guys I believe that are going to be on the team next year. And I think Rosen the year after. That's kind of how I'm projecting it for now. So just wanted to throw this one at you guys, let you know that Matthew Savoie is doing great. He's lighting it up in the playoffs. And folks, that's what we want to hear. We want to hear that, yeah, he turned it on late in the season, but now he's not only turned it on late, he's really turning it up a complete notch in the playoffs so far. But again, that was against Medicine Hat. It was the opening round of the playoffs. But junior can be like hockey, folks. It's a best of 7. And it's still, upsets can happen. injuries. It's a long season. It's not like the NCAA is different because they're kind of a little older over there. It's a different program. It's not sudden death games. This is like more like the NHL when it comes to the way the playoffs are outlined. Where they got it right and where the NHL has it wrong is number 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, 3, you know, 2 plays 7, 3 plays 6, 4 plays 5, which it's the way it should be. You know, the NHL does things kind of backwards, I think, sometimes, but I don't want to get into that in this video. All right, guys, done for this one. I'm going to put a bunch of videos out tonight. I got to get on the next one. See you there.